Welcome to the Rarely Typical Players podcast. Um, I'm Cychronic. We have our other host, D7,
Yo, what's up, y'all? What's going on?
and today we're going to be reviewing Descendant of the Prophet, Dreamwalker, by Jared Francis. Um, let's take a look at the. First of all, before we get started, how was your trip, D7, to Ethiopia?
Trip was wonderful, man. Like, oh my gosh, I really enjoyed myself. I always wanted to go to Ethiopia. That's like one of the places I always wanted to visit. The opportunity came up. I jumped on it. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But to I had to come back to you guys to the knock games, man. I had to come back.
The
The knock needs me more than the desert.
the
But
podcast
yeah,
always comes first.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like the food was amazing, the people was amazing, just everything was great. You know,
That's awesome.
it was better than what I expected. And the first time on the airplane, I was like, man, I ain't never get on the airplane, but I conquered that. I conquered it. So
Hell yeah. So let's read the synopsis of this game. So, Descendant of the Prophet, Dreamwalker,
okay.
is an action turn-based military sci-fi RPG set in the Colonial Fringe. You play as a special forces unit tasked with hunting down colonial terrorists working to overthrow the United Earth Republic. Gameplay challenging yet rewarding. Action turn-based combat system, myriad of different enemies and abilities leading to unpredictable battles. Then there's other stuff, but it talks about like that there's lots of items and exploration and so on.
Okay.
So let's get started with this footage here. Um, so the game kind of starts off with a little bit of exposition. Like if we're going to talk about like the story of the game, it's kind of a story where like I guess Earth encountered this alien race, and I'm sorry D7, I'm hearing like echo of myself. I think from your audio source.
Hold on. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's a little better now. But anyway, the story kind of involves, I guess, this alien race called what were they called, like the Neuraxis or something. And I guess they're a theocratic alien race, and Earth has like a united government, like kind of like if the UN was a government, and you are kind of like a special forces operative working for this republic or whatever. And the game kind of starts off with like you're investigating some kind of like hostage situation in a building, in a like military base or something like that, and you have to go through it, try to sneak through around enemies, fix the generator, and then there's some kind of climactic end to the demo. But yeah, that's kind of like the rough story as far as I can tell, or the premise of it. But it does seem kind of like not futuristic. It almost seems like a sci-fi, but like if it was made in the 1990s or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like historical fiction that is also kind of a sci-fi. Like if you were to watch Stargate SG-1 for the first time in 2026, that would be my initial impression of the story. I kind of liked it, but I was hoping for more because I got to the end of the demo, but I had previously played this game like a year or two ago, and there was stuff after the end of the demo that I remember, but I didn't get to
Hmm.
play through this time. I mean, what was your initial thoughts of the story?
Um, the story. Hold on, make sure. I'm sorry. Gotta make sure my camera is on me when I talk. When I talk. Okay, so the story to me, you're just basically a mercenary or a special ops agent that you know you have the task to go in there and take out the bad guys who took people hostage, took over the building.
Yeah,
So so you're not really knowing what you're really going in there for, except you just need to, like, neutralize the threat. But to the very end, you run into this madman. You don't really know his name or anything, but you know about him. So he's kind of a big fish. He's kind of a big fish who has some type of alien artifact where I don't know, he's trying to summon something or trying to harness the power, so he could get powerful. But a fight ensures, you know, you s- you know, a fight ensures and stuff like that. And I think with this fight, um, it's a win or lose type deal. You know what I mean? Like, you could win or you could lose. Cause I'm good at games, I end up winning the fight. You know,
what do you mean
then
you can lose? So what happens when you lose?
he just gets away.
Mm-hmm. He gets away if you win too.
Yeah, yeah. He gets away when you win too, but it's a little bit more story if you win. Like
Right.
like he say, oh, you did it,
And you don't know what's
or
coming, or so it's that kind of vibe where there's something big brewing, and he's gonna get the hell out of there. You know.
yeah, 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 basically, yeah. So that's all you get. Like, it's like to be continued. So,
Yeah,
but
and I will tell you that I can tell you a little bit about what happened after that. So because I played it like 2 years ago. So after that you end up kind of like at the command center, and there's other like recruits there and stuff like that. There's like towns you can go to, and um, it wasn't like the pace of the excitement kind of dies down after that first scene where the demo ends, but there was more after that, and you're kind of still trying to track this guy down, you know, after this initial event is over. But it kind of meanders a little bit after. But
mm,
I'm sure that the developer is probably working on it. Um, but that's what I've experienced
yeah.
story wise.
So 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 like, once again, like, you don't really get much story from this gameplay unless you, like, read the
There's
documents
yeah,
that you find.
and there's also some exposition in the first part of the game where it explains to you like what the situation is
Yeah.
between like the
So
factions and stuff.
yeah, it's kind of like you go in, you do a mission, then all of a sudden, you get to the rising point, which I think the developer did a great job. Like, because it left me with a sensation like, oh man, what's next? Like
Yeah,
what the heck was that?
yeah,
So
no,
I
I agree. I
So
like
they
that.
did a really good job on that one. Not they didn't give you too much. They just gave you something to go in there and think what you're going to do, like you're saving somebody or you're just trying to neutralize the enemy. But now you're dealing with a bigger threat that can like threaten the world.
Yeah,
You know,
and it did leave me with a feeling of what's next, and I like that feeling when I'm playing a game with a story. So
yeah, yeah. Like a lot of people like that feeling. Like, and especially like this game kind of stands out to be your game, like a game that you like, cause it got some sci-fi in it. It has like weapons, got some
yeah,
military. Even though your game is dealing with military, you know, space military, police and unions and stuff like that. This game is going in that direction as well.
yeah, it's right up my alley for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. So terms of story, I think they really did a good job just leading the player up to like something more bigger and more threatening without, giving so much, you
Without
know.
over explaining, which can happen sometimes too.
Yeah, cuz I felt like, we're playing like a game kind of like Metal Gear. You know how like
Yeah,
you doing the mission, they call on you as the lone mercenary because you're Solid Snake. Solid Snake is kind of like, that's the guy for the job. You know what I mean? Go in there, do the job. And now there's a threat that even Solid Snake is going to have a problem with.
a crazy conspiracy, so to speak, that it's a
Uh huh.
snake is unraveling as he's going through his mission, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
good. It's good. Um, so yeah, story wise, I mean, I think I'd rate it like an 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5.
8 out of 10. I'll give it the same because, you know, I really don't like games where I have to read documents to like really get like a backstory of what's need to be done
But the
or what
artifacts,
should what should be told.
but the artifacts made it interesting. Where like the actual like things you had to read, like one was like a torn piece of paper, and then another might be like a sign, or it wasn't just like dialogue scrolling, you know. So, but
But the thing is still the fact that I have to find these things if
yeah,
I want the full piece. And how the gameplay is kind of like you're just gonna get more frustrated trying to look for these. And we'll probably talk about we'll probably talk about that as well when we get into the gameplay. But yeah, it's kind of like, this game could be like a maze, because there's different avenues where you could travel from, like the vents, the stairs, and the elevators. And it's like you could easily find yourself like going in circles. So
yeah, and that did happen.
yeah,
That did happen when I
yeah,
was playing.
yeah. So I give it an 8 out of 10 too.
Nice. Well, now I guess we can talk about the gameplay a little bit. So,
Hmm.
first of all, this game is made in RPG. I think it's VX Ace, or it might even be XP. I'm not sure, but I think it's VX Ace.
It's
Um,
Ace. It's Ace.
yeah. Okay. Um, so, as you know, with VX Ace games, they're starting to get a little bit outdated. Like as far as like a full screen can be kind of a pain. Um, it's there was some bugs, like I got some crashes sometimes. Like if I was in the middle of combat, or like if I was saving, like the autosave wouldn't load and stuff like that. Um,
Mm.
I don't want to like overstate it because it didn't like ruin this experience for me, but there was some bugs. Also, the in combat, I like the combat. it was actually pretty fun. I like that. I like the hard to hit, or where you hit hard and you die fast, or you kill them fast, but you might die fast. I kind of like that. I thought in the beginning when you first play, it was a little bit unbalanced, but it seemed to get more balanced as it went along, like as you gained experience or whatever. But it still wasn't that balanced. So, for example, I found the best technique was just to use a grenade in most cases. You just like sometimes it seemed like the enemies did a lot of damage or too much damage, and then sometimes not enough. But it felt okay. It felt good. I mean, I liked the. It didn't feel boring or anything like that. But I felt like the balance was a little off, though. I mean, what do you think?
The balance of the combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the beginning, it feels that if you take the enemy's head on, um, you're gonna get punished. But I also found like a bug as well, right? Like if you go to the shops,
Yeah.
for some reason your armor gets unequipped.
Oh yeah. I also encountered that bug too, and I didn't know what it was, but that's what it. That's okay.
So you're thinking that you have equipment on, but you don't. So when you get in the fight, enemies destroying you because you have no armor on.
It all got unequipped when you like purchased something out of the machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they get unequipped. Yeah, and I realized that, like, I'm like, hold on, because it says like when you upgrade, you can't have the armor equipped. So what I'm thinking, what the developer did, he probably like, well, I don't want. He probably say, well, I don't want them to go and have it to unequip and upgrade and re-equip. We just might as well unequip everything. That way you could upgrade right from the menu without having to manually go to the character and unequip. I think that's what's happening.
Oh, you're saying it might be like a situation where like there's a plugin for that, but because of how the plugin works, the developer might have chosen to do that as a step to make it work for that part.
Yeah,
There's like
yeah,
there's like a gap there. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what they're doing. Like they automatically unequipping your items so you could upgrade from the menu without having to manually do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I felt the combat system to be very easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Once you find the pattern, and you just repeat it.
yeah, once you find the pattern and once you like attack an enemy, surprise them, like the preempt strikes, the enemies become really dizzy. You know what I mean? Like they become really dizzy, disoriented. Then you can like basically go ham. You could destroy them without them having to turn. So you're constantly getting experience. You getting experience from the world items, like the world interaction as well. Like when you defuse the bombs, you get experience from that. You're leveling up. You learning skills, and I would say like within 2 levels, you're pretty much godlike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you get the dog, the companion dog.
Yeah.
You're basically godlike because his agility is so quick. Like he's going to attack at least twice before the enemy will even get a chance. Then they stay disoriented for the whole battle until you hit them as well, which can cause like the game to not be as challenging, even though is saying that it is challenging. The developers say challenging yet rewarding action turn-based system. Once you find this break in the game, it's no longer challenging. So the developer, you know, is using a system that's not as reliant as you want it to be. And the system is like the enemy search, they're searching and stuff for you. That is so broken. Like that is so freaking broken. Like I don't even know if the developer themselves could fix that.
the
You
ser-
know,
the search and confront
this
system.
yeah, it's bad because there's no way. Like I ran up on enemies. Like there's no freaking way that I supposed to get the drop on them. Like it's just so broken. You know what I mean? Like for a stealth game,
Well,
then you're
and then you're in the locker and your flashlight is shining through the locker, and then the enemy doesn't know that you're in there.
yeah, like stuff like that. Like it just makes it's little details like that people is going to look for, but the execution, unfortunately, with the engine is going to make it a lot harder because of that. You know what I mean? It's like you have to use what you have, or you just don't have it at all. And that's going to be a challenge for most developers because when using an outdated engine like this, um, you're going to run into certain things where you have to modernize your game in order to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just not like if an enemy could sense you through a wall in another room, it's bad. Like, wow, what did I do? Like, what did I do to get this enemy to notice me? And I'm doing everything correctly.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Well,
so
there needs to be region blocking. You block the region of the wall so they can't see you through the wall.
yeah,
But again, it is. I mean, VX Ace. It's really starting to kind of show its age, or it feels a little bit like out of date just to play it, like like modern quality of life stuff that's come into like newer versions of the engine. You can feel that it's not quite there on that, even though the
so
game
let me
itself. Oh yeah.
let me ask you a question. So, as a developer, so with VS Ace, like an older engine like this versus MV or MZ, will it reduce the lag quality for most games that has a lot of events going on at once? Like this game, it's a lot of events going on, but will it be better for like lag?
Um, Not necessarily because at VX Ace, MV and above. So MV and MZ, and then whatever is coming out next. Those are all web-based. So it means they're cross-platform. They can run on any operating system, whatever. But VX Ace and below, that ran only on Windows, and it used DirectX and stuff like that. So one of the weaknesses of web, long story short, is the multi-threading. So you're not getting actually the performance wise for like number of events and stuff shouldn't be affected too much either way. Um, I'm talking more like the resolution, cross-platform, uh, being able to do full screen without it like janking everything out. Um, it's just a different like platform, so to speak, and the web-based ones are a little more modern.
Okay.
Like so, all the plugins and stuff in VX Ace and below, they were Ruby code, but anything MV and above is JavaScript, and there's a lot more like JavaScript stuff out there that you can adapt to enhance your game and stuff like that than there is Ruby.
Yeah. So so basically, you know, it's safe to say the developer started this in VX
VX
Ace.
Ace, and then took too long to finish, and then now it's kind of outdated.
Yeah, it's kind of he's kind of stuck like with VX Ace versus porting over or remaking everything on the better and more modernized engine.
Right, which would take, you just have to start over, which I can understand why you wouldn't want to do that as a developer.
Yeah, yeah. So general and if you was this developer, like if you were in this developer's shoes, I mean, the game doesn't look bad. Like it
No,
doesn't look bad at all. It actually plays pretty good. Like I like the added sound effects. Like when you fight the enemies, they talk.
yeah.
You know, they have dying noise. You know, they it's
Yeah,
you could
I like the
tell.
game. Yeah, like some time and
Yeah,
effort was put into this game, and they
yeah,
had a vision, and it was good. I liked it.
yeah, yeah. I like it too. Like I think they did a lot of detailing. They took it to the extra mile than most what other developers would do. Like it makes it more interesting. You know what I mean? Especially like during the world, like during like the regular map. Like if it in like you can hear them talking amongst each other. You know, kind of like you would do if you were watching a Rambo movie. You'll hear the bad guys speaking amongst each other. You know, they have like some quality of life that's going on instead of just reading static text. You know, so he made it really interesting doing that way. But I just felt like overall, you know, it could be better.
Yeah,
It could be better if it was like more modern because the enemies they it's like they're on the at the turn based system like the enemies they could I think they will attack even though it's your turn. They ATB still moves and they could still attack you while you're deciding to move. You know they can still attack you. So it kind of gives the combat system a rush. You know what I mean? Like more of a survival type thing. You know, like oh, I need to take them out ASAP. I need to take them out ASAP. Versus okay, there's like a bunch of enemies together. You know, I need to wait until my guy with a shotgun is able to perform because I could blast them all. You know what I mean? Or I could use a Molotov to take this group out. You know, so you have a lot of options to win battles. It's just like what's that noise? You hear that?
what noise?
It's like it's feedback.
Really? I don't hear anything.
Okay, that's weird. That's weird. But yeah. Other than that, I think the combat system is pretty sweet. You know, it has that military effect, and plus your weapons actually take bullets and they break. They have like a wear and tear system. You
Yep.
know where you can repair them and stuff like that. You know that's pretty dope. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it felt pretty like fast paced and stuff. I liked it.
Uh huh.
There was some issues with it, but like for example, sometimes the enemies in battle appear like over the top of like the computer console, or like they're not in the right spot to. For
Yeah. Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
But it's these little details you got to get if you're going to release a game to the public. You got to get these little details figured out. And
Yeah.
it does kind of people do pay attention to that stuff. So
And I noticed that the enemies doesn't flash. Like once you use like a Molotov against them, the enemies doesn't flash who's going to take the damage. You gotta rely on the circle if they're in that area or not.
right, and I liked seeing the little circle and like that's the range of the thing, but
Yeah, but is it accurate though? That's what you gotta. That's what you gotta.
mostly,
Hope
but
for.
sometimes it's a little off. But yeah,
And I also like the fact that he introduced like mechanics like the lock picking, like the mini games,
right, yeah,
like the lock picking. The if you don't have any lock picks, you can use C4 to blow the doors down. Or if you diffuse the explosive and you get in the purple, you can actually get C4 and bonus experience.
right,
That's pretty good. Like to have other interactions where you can have control of certain items and certain weapons that you can find, like
yeah,
different guns and stuff.
yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Uh,
so overall, I think the gameplay was pretty good. But again, these little details should probably be ironed out. But overall, I was entertained while playing it.
yeah. And I like the fact that you got three different ways to enter the building. You go to the sewers, you go through the vents, or you could go through the front door with the passcode. I think that's pretty dope. You
Yeah,
know.
but it did feel sometimes like I was going in circles though. Like I kind of didn't exactly know where to go, but I did eventually
Mhm.
get to where I needed to go. But
Yeah. Yeah. Because oh, you must be talking about the when you gotta repair the power.
yeah,
That was confusing.
yeah,
That was
yeah, yeah. Because I didn't figure. I mean, I didn't figure it out at first, but eventually I was like, oh, I got to use the machine to break down these devices like the music player and like all this stuff to turn it into electronics, and then
the laptop. You need to get the two items to fix the fuse, to fix the power. But this is the thing though, like this game relies you to find those items. You have to search. You have to search like the lockers and stuff.
right.
Cause I remember picking up the laptop and the radio. I believe it's a radio and the laptop, something like that. They get what you need. But
Yeah, yeah, I found
they
those items no problem, but the part that I didn't like connect at first was to use the machine to like
yeah,
break down the
yeah,
components to get what I needed.
yeah, yeah. And that's not you're not really taught that. You're not really shown. You're not really shown that like for something like that, you gotta sometimes it's nothing wrong with like hand holding your partner, like your
A little
player.
bit, yeah, at first, yeah,
Like all the guys say you need to figure that out yourself. And you see what can happen. Like you're going in circles, you're going in circles, you're going in circles. The next thing you know, your player is getting frustrated because he's like, man, what the F I need to do? You know what I mean? Like that's the last thing you would think, that you need to find these components and break them down. You know what I mean? Like I think what it should have been done, you know, maybe make the cell phone and the laptop more available later, unless you need those things. Then you go to certain sequences. Like once you find those items, he said maybe we could break this down for something useful. You know what I mean? Which prompt the player to go to the machine and break it down, dismantle these items for these parts. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can't always assume that your player is going to pick it up. Like this is where game testing comes into play. You know what I mean? You got to get other people to play it a certain design. You got to make sure that the design is going to come together while people are having problems. You know what I mean? So, you know, it probably took longer to figure out how to restore the power than the actual gameplay of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree because I was just running around a lot, and then I was like, what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah,
Um,
and that's not fun anymore.
right,
The fun factor is gone.
right. Just a gentle nudge would have worked, would have made it a lot better for that part. But it's all good. But like we're just sharing our feedback. But um, yeah, and then I thought that the demo ended on a good spot. It kind of left a mystery, the at the end, and um, yeah, I just think this developer though needs to get the game done. It's been a while, and it's just need to get it finished.
Do you know how far along this developer is?
I don't know, but I know that there was a whole other part of the game after this that had like towns you could go to and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and there was like a lot, but it was a lot more of, but the I remember specifically the tension of the story, or like the what comes next. It kind of felt, I felt deflated a little bit at the next part because it was kind of like there wasn't like an impetus of like a this is important to move quickly and this is their next move kind of thing. It was kind of like you go back to the command center, and then it's like you're given like another mission briefing, but then it's like the tension, it was gone, so it didn't feel as exciting to keep going.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I will agree with the ending was pretty solid. You know, the ending, I think he did a good job just ending it like right then and there.
Yeah, it was a good
You
spot.
know, but if it wasn't for us spending a lot of time looking for the artifacts, you could really say this is a short game. Like the demos
Pretty short, yeah.
is probably 30 minutes, if that.
Right, assuming you were, if you were able to like figure out how to break down the electrical components sooner than,
If you figure it out, yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing.
So I
Cause
don't
I
know. So it's like I don't know if this developer is gonna get it done or not. I mean, it's just seems like it's been hanging for a while. Even though I
I
like the
don't
game.
know. I don't know. I think he's going to get it done because he's still like you got to fill out forms and get feedback. You know, I think he's still and it has a quarter. It comes out this year, I believe. No, no, does it come out? No, that's the other game I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
But but you know, you kind of expect that within the RPG maker community, like developers make games and they don't have the funding to to concentrate only on that game, so they still have to like work. They
yeah,
still have a life
yeah.
that they have to do
Yeah,
versus
the game is
a
something you work on the side rather than like it being your main thing. Yeah,
yeah. So we don't know, he's only getting an hour a week, 10 hours a week, or we don't know. We could just assume.
right. I have the same problem myself. So
Yeah. Yeah, versus if you had like crowdfunding, then you can work on the game faster and more because you have the money, the funds to take care of certain things. But uh I mean the game looks good per se. It looks good. It plays the way that like how you got in this encounter here. Like the guy was literally looking at you, and you got the drop on him. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he's flashing the light on you, you flashing the light on him, but you got the drop. You know, like
right.
it doesn't make much sense. But
Yeah, it's just because like the system for the chasing and following, it's not quite right, but you can tell what they're trying to do. But it is a little bit jank sometimes. Yeah, on that part of it.
yeah,
But overall, I was entertained, and so I would probably, I mean, I'd say like gameplay wise, I'd give it like a 7, honestly.
a 7.
Yeah, it was okay. It was good. I kind of liked it. There was some bugs. 7.5 maybe actually. Yeah, 7.5.
Okay.
It was good mostly. However, some rough edges and easily enough to iron it out and get that higher. But at this time, that's what I would give it.
Okay. So I would give this game the only problem I had was, the bugs that I ran into, in the aimless, looking for what to do next. You know what I mean? Like the dismantle and stuff. Like you're not really given a nudge or what to do. Like maybe, hey, break down the unwanted items. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To kind of get your player used to going to this repair thing.
yeah, a gentle
You know what I
nudge.
mean?
Yeah,
So all you really doing is, you're thinking, okay, what can I don't have any blueprints except the ammo blueprint, but that's about it. What else do I need? Like I have no blueprints. So normally crafting you need like blueprints for it. So you're not given blueprints, you're not going to really spend a lot of time there. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
yeah, I actually thought that we had to find a source probably where you got to flip a switch or something that'll help fix the fuse, the power thing. I don't know.
well, I think that's originally how it was. Like when I played it 2 years ago, there was something like that, and then
Okay.
and then it switched to. If I'm not mistaken, I could be remembering incorrectly, but I
Yeah.
believe it used to work like that, and then now it's different, where you break down the components from the machine, and
Yeah.
that's how you did it. So yeah, I believe that's how they used to do it, and then they changed to this. So
Yeah. 2 years is a long time. And another thing, like the main character didn't have no skills, like none at all. Jay,
oh yeah,
he didn't have no abilities. And another thing, everybody's like on level 1. You know what I mean? Like
right,
these are these are like high tech, like servicemen, like assassins. Like why they're on level 1? You know what I mean? Like why?
right.
Why they don't have any type of basic skills to show that they are an elite force? You know what I mean? Like you got to make it believable. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Like you got to make it believable. Balance your enemies around. Just give the enemies, make them a couple level higher. You know what I'm saying? Because they're elite enemies as well. Like they got some training, they got some skills and stuff like that. So why not just make it like shows who's like higher in rank? Normally that is done with strength and wits. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah. It would make it a
that's
little bit more exciting. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So When you put everybody at level one with no skills, it's kind of like, this character is boring. He's not as exciting as you think he is because he's a level one character with no skills.
Yeah,
Like what?
and it just
Yeah,
turns the combat into find the pattern, kill enemy, and then it's not
yeah.
as variable.
It's not like we shouldn't even be like close to dying at all, given the fact that we're more. This is the beginning. You don't want to like put so much on your player where they're getting demolished. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, no, no.
Yeah,
Then they're not gonna want to play. So I give it. You say you give it a seven,
yeah, I'd probably give it a 7.
seven. I gave it a 7.5. Because I do like the combat. I just don't like the fact that it took me longer to find what to do with the fuse in the circuit than actual how long the game is. Like that was literally it, and I killed every enemy on in every floor,
Yeah,
think I had to kill somebody for something. So I gave it a 7.5.
yeah, that's around the range I would give it to. But I liked it. I thought it was good.
Uh huh.
There's some rough edges too, but they can be ironed out.
Yeah.
They should be ironed out. Um, but it's it's got a good foundation though. That's all I can say. So,
Uh huh.
and then I guess like what do we have to do like presentation too? We kind of talked about some of the presentation already,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's presented pretty well. The game is interesting. I would play it. I would even probably pay for a game like this. However, it's starting to feel kind of out of date, like it should have been released like 5 years ago or something. But it is what it is. I understand as a fellow developer, but
Um. Overall, I think the game presents itself really well. I like the fact that you know, you are given the option to fight and to flee.
yeah,
Like you don't have to fight everybody. I just felt like, why not? Why not fight? Especially if once you know how to like sneak up on them to get the upper hand.
yeah,
Um Even fighting everybody, the end boss was a bit challenging. It did he did make you feel like, okay, I need to strategize a bit.
yeah,
So if we can like keep the boss fights like that, then the game will make up for like the lack of challenge that the regular enemies would give you, which I feel like what should be standard in RPGs anyways. Your bosses should be like your toughest fights. You know what I mean? So I think this developer made it hard for some reason because he expect you to lose, but you can win and still get a different outcome based on how good you actually play. You know what I mean?
right.
So
And I did win the at the final boss or whatever I
yeah,
don't know. Yeah,
yeah.
but he does get away.
But yeah, he gets away for both. He gets away if you win, and he gets away if you lose.
So it's the illusion of choice where the same thing happens either way.
As Yeah, exactly. And overall, I just think they did a good job just setting the game up to way it's supposed. Enemies placement probably could be better on some scenes and some fights. I'm not sure if it's random placements, but like Sarchronic said, sometimes they're placed weird, like on top of machines and stuff like that. But other than that, I actually really enjoyed, the game. Like the combat. The combat was really fun. The exploration, the finding the items, searching the drawers. I really like that. And the atmosphere itself was pretty
Yeah.
dark and pretty good too. So
Yeah, like I liked the world was presented in like a okay, I can get into this universe kind of thing. The fictional like United Nations and yeah, it kind of makes sense. So I liked it. I thought it was good.
yeah,
I would be interested if I was playing this. I would be interested to find out what happens next in the story and everything like that too. Um,
yeah, yeah. I like to know more. Like I like to continue on with the journey.
which
This.
you can't say for every game. I mean, we play a lot of games, and there's some of them that are like the minute you start playing it, you're like, man, I want to get out of this game. But
Yeah, yeah.
but I had a fun time with it.
Oh yeah, I had an amazing time with it.
Amazing time, but
No, for real.
yeah,
It wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't bad. So I actually I actually felt like okay, you know, all this game gonna be long and drawn and boring, but it actually held on pretty good. It's just the fact that I don't like how this is going. I don't like how this is going. But once you got into it and once you got in your niche, it wasn't bad. You know what I mean? It was pretty good. You know. Well, amazing could be a little bit too much, but it wasn't as it wasn't boring. Let's
yeah,
put it like that.
right,
It wasn't boring.
yeah,
So
yeah. I agree. It wasn't boring, and I didn't feel a compulsion to quit the game as I was playing it, which
yeah,
that's always good.
yeah, and they give you a lot of mini games to play too, which
It
is a
it
plus.
shakes things up so you don't feel like it's repetitive. Yeah,
Exactly. Especially with I like how they give you the practice with the mini games, like with the bomb disarming. Like you
oh
can
yeah,
keep doing it over and over and over for the practice until you got it perfect. Then you could get that prize as you got it perfect.
right.
So yeah. So overall presentation wise, I give it an 8.
Yeah, I would give it an 8 as well. Um, and for the same reasons. One thing. So if this were to be released as a commercial like product, like what price would you put on it? You think?
Hmm.
Like how much would you be willing to pay for this?
Probably $5.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right to me too. Um,
Because like what I had to do, like my controller, I had to configure my controller. Like even though it says play with the Xbox controller, it certain keys didn't function properly. So I had to use a third party app to basically play the game.
what was the third party app that got it to work?
Joy the key.
Oh, I see. So it takes your game controller and maps them to keys on the keyboard.
Yeah, you have to manually do it.
Gotcha.
Did your controller work for you or you play with the keyboard?
I played with the keyboard.
See, when I plugged in the Xbox controller and everything, like it just wouldn't like it just wouldn't map properly. Like
What?
it wasn't mapped properly. Like I had to configure to do it.
And when you say it wasn't mapped properly, do you mean that like the keys on the controller totally worked, but they were the wrong buttons for the wrong commands, or?
Like yeah, the button was wrong. Then the directional pad didn't work. Only the analog stick moved the character. Like it just wasn't. I'm not sure if it was my computer setup, but it don't feel like it was plug and play. and I did it wireless and wired.
Mm,
You know, but as soon as I mapped my controller to the way I want it, it was perfect.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be like some testing needed because I know that I don't use a controller usually, so it's like when I do, but I have a controller because I test it for like my own games, right? But um, yeah, it's probably just a case of test and implement, which everybody's got a different setup, so maybe it works fine on his computer or whatever. But
Exactly. Like this is why you need game testers to test your product, because different engines may not work correctly. You know what I mean?
and,
Especially
and then also different form factors like the Steam Deck and stuff like that.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, why wouldn't you want your game not to work on a Steam Deck?
Well, I think you would, but I think sometimes certain developers like they only kind of think in terms of like what they play, and not, they might just not think of it like, oh, let me see if it works on the Steam Deck, and oh, how do I get it to work on the Steam Deck if it doesn't, that kind of thing. I had to like literally borrow a friend's Steam Deck to find out why my game wasn't running on it, and then it was like usually it was a simple fix, but it was like if you don't test for it, you won't find it, and then it just doesn't run.
Yeah, not a lot of people know people with the Steam Deck, especially. How much are Steam Decks now? Like $500 still.
I think so, yeah.
See, like that's kind of. I mean, as a developer, you would want all those type things anyway, so you could just make sure it works for your. You know what I mean? So it's the investment, and some people just don't have the money to even have those type of items to make that investment, so they just don't even deal with it. So
Yeah, it looks like the Steam Deck is all sold out, meaning there isn't any available, but that they're $549 and $649 when they are available. So
that's the one with the expandable storage, right? I think there's three of them.
there's three of them. There's the 256 gig, the 512, and then the 1 TB. But the 256 just says out of stock, and there's no price on it. And then the other two are also out of stock, but they have a price.
So one might not even be made anymore. Only they just
Well,
probably sell the two.
I think that there's a problem right now when it comes to like PC components because like the memory shortage and everything like that for all the AI shit. So like just hardware is just like not available.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Um, so it'll be interesting. I mean, like, I'm hoping that there's a bubble pop at some point because then you're gonna get the whole market's gonna get flooded with like cheap hardware that you'll be able to like run this AI stuff locally and stuff. But it's today's not that day, I guess.
Oh yeah, the developer did use AI for certain placeholders.
Yeah, some of the faces and everything is clearly labeled with AI next to it.
AI, yeah. I laughed my tail off when I seen that. I said, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, well, I think AI is definitely going to change the game for sure. It already has, I mean, but I think it's a valuable tool for development, that's for sure. But
Yeah. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do. Ain't nobody knocking or floating. You gotta do what you gotta do to make your game stand out.
well, no, I mean, I think that AI is like just the next version of the web, right? Like when the internet came out and like people started making websites and stuff. With back in the 90s, this is like the next version of that. Where it's the new stack, so this is how developers are going to be developing in the future if they're not already. It's you still have to know your basics though, otherwise you can't get as much use out of it. But like, so like I'm not a developer, like, or I'm not like a coder, but like I know enough about code to understand when it's right and when it's not right. So being able to have these tools to just be able to like clearly describe what you want is pretty cool. So
Yeah, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Especially with the game you made, that was pretty dope.
yeah, I'm making a few
I
other
was
ones too,
I was
but
tell I was telling people about that game. So man, this is crazy. Like AI is just gonna it's gonna take over. Like it's gonna take over, and people gonna like figure it out, and they're just gonna make plenty of money for it.
yeah, it's just the next stack. It's the next set of tools, and like nobody was trained on the tools, so everybody's just kind of figuring it out as they go along. And yeah, it's been cool. It's been fun. So for me, anyway. Um,
Yeah,
but it
that's
does
what's
it
up.
does it's not going to replace people, but it does change the game. You know, like it moves the window of what's possible for certain people in certain roles, and yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
I'm sorry. A lot of new RPG Maker games shows on itch using AI. LOL. Okay. DJ King. Yeah, it is, but there's also AI slop too. AI slop is real, you know. That's a thing too. But there's good AI, you know, or good products made with AI. But we'll see where it goes.
Exactly. So you
So
you you think 4.99 is good for this game commercially?
that's what I would pay for it at this time. It could be better.
Yeah.
You could make it better to where it would garner a higher price point. But I enjoy the game. It's kind of outdated in terms of its engine, but I would still pay for it. I liked it, um, and that's about what I would pay for it if I saw it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I agree.
I think that the developers should maybe work to get this one done, and then maybe try to up the ante for the next one. Maybe like another story in the same universe or something like that.
Hmm.
And then
Just.
but
Hmm.
just upgraded, yeah.
Yeah. And don't take a long time, or it's good that gonna be outdated.
Well, with the new especially like with like AI development, you can actually make your own custom plugins that just do what you want, and the development can happen much faster these days. So,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
yeah, overall, I would give this game like a solid 8 out of 10 overall, and I would pay $5 for it. And I mean, there's not really, I don't know what else to say. It's pretty decent. I hope the developer can like take what our feedback is and make their game better and get it out there.
Exactly. Like I feel like the game has a lot of potential. It could garner to both, different types. I would say all types of players that likes RPGs. It's not tactical. It's still turn based, but it still has a unique vibe of its own. Like with the weapon rounds. This could definitely have like your Metal Gear Solid fans, even some of your Call of Duty fans, people that like guns in general. They definitely would be a fan to this game. But just the way the game looks, overall, you know, is there really a huge fan base for this type of style retro looking game? I mean, I think there is, but you know, nowadays the younger generation, it's hard to please them with graphics like this. You know what I mean? Like they're really spoiled on graphics.
Yeah.
So you gotta be up the time when it comes to like how your game look, because like kids is really calling games like this, oh, this game looks so old. You know what I mean? And they won't touch it. Like they won't touch it regardless how good it is.
Right, like old as in old fashioned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they just won't touch it, and unfortunately, a lot of game developers is kicking in. They're kicking into the new trend.
yeah,
You know what I mean? That's what they're doing because they know trend sells.
yeah,
So you gotta fall with the trend if you expect to sell. If not, you just looking at a older generation that's going to be able to play this game that likes these style games.
right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and it is kind of funny too to be like a developer, but and then to be from like what I would call like a different era of gaming. But then you see that like the type of game that you used to really like and play is actually like an outdated style of game compared to what people are playing now, and just being aware of that and like, oh well, how can I make a new thing that does appeal to all gamers from all age groups with the new reality, right? So yeah,
yeah, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. You have to appeal to those type of gamers. Like you have to. Like there's no way. Like there's no way you have to.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, it is just but it is kind of interesting. So anyway, I'm trying with my games too, but easier said than done. But I just have fun doing it because it's
Hmm.
with game development for me is like it's fun because it's like requires so many different skills that you're kind of it's kind of like going to school for learning new skills, but all at once with multiple things at once, and then um, it helps in other areas and stuff like that. But and it
Yeah.
also just the wanting to make a game is fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else are we? Is that it, or do we? Is there any final thoughts you want to share about this game?
Just keep grinding, man. And if if you could get away from this engine, I'll do it on the next project. Like I'll do it.
Yeah, just like seriously get this thing done, and then after it's done, do what you've learned in an upgraded, modernized way, and then I think that will be a good direction, in my opinion, as a
Hmm.
fellow dev. So,
Yeah.
but overall, 2 thumbs up for me.
I give it I give it 2 thumbs up as well. I give it 2 thumbs up. The fact that, they try to go with something different. They try to add in different details like the characters following, they're not like single file. I think that's like really that's unique, and the voices that you hear from the enemies and stuff, kind of try to add immersion to it. So I give them points for that.
Awesome. Um, okay, so we're going to be playing an interesting one next time, right? Like, so the next game we're going to play, it involves co-op, right? So are we gonna set a time to like play it together, or are we gonna play the co-op game single player on our own?
We could do both. We could get like the single player experience and the multiplayer experience.
Okay. Okay.
You know, but I'm not sure if it's local multiplayer
Oh, I see what you're
or
saying. If it's actually like online
on,
online.
yeah, if it's online. So that's the thing. I know there's like hosting that you can do, but still,
Well, I might be able to do it because I have web hosting, so I might be able
yeah,
to link it up. But I'd be interested to try it because it's different.
because I think I played another game that has online co-op, but it was just broken. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. So it's interesting to see what it is. It seems like it feels like I have a feeling it might be local co-op,
Hmm.
but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Probably like this week sometime, and then
Yeah.
see what's up with it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think that's all on this game. And good job, Dev, and keep working at it and getting it out there. And we look forward to
Yeah. Yeah.
checking out the next game.
Exactly. And thank you for all the support. You know, whenever you submit a game to the Rarely Typical Player podcast, you're believing in us and you want us to play your game and give you honest feedback. So we just thank you for the support that you all have shown us throughout the changes that this podcast has gone through. So
throughout the
you
years.
know, so we just appreciate y'all for that.
Well, you guys take it easy. Have a good one. Good luck.